Owning a Rottweiler doesn't feel the way most people think it does. It's not just about strength, power, or protection. It's not about dominance or control. It's something much deeper. Something no one really talks about, not in breeder videos, not in training manuals, not even in dog owner forums. Because this isn't a breed you simply raise. This is a breed that enters your life like a force, and once it does, everything changes. Your rhythm, your awareness. Even the way you feel when you're alone. At first, it's the presence. You walk into a room, and the Rottweiler follows. Not with excitement, but with purpose. Like it's scanning, reading, positioning. You realize that this dog doesn't just love you, it tracks you. It watches your eyes. It senses your stress. It calculates who else is in the room. It learns patterns, how you sit, where you walk, what time you get up, and it stores that information as if its job depends on it. Because in its mind, it does. No one talks about what that feels like. What it's like to be studied every single day by a being that's not judging you, but protecting you. And not in the dramatic action movie way. In the quietest, most grounding way possible. When you're sad, it doesn't lick your face. It leans into your body. When you're anxious, it doesn't get hyper, it gets still. Still enough that you notice your own breathing. Still enough that you begin to mirror its calm. Owning a Rottweiler feels like having a living compass, a guide. A shadow that doesn't just follow you, it flanks you. There's a reason the military uses that term. Because flanking is about watching your blind spots. The Rottweiler does exactly that. Not because you trained it to, but because it decided you're worth watching over. But this kind of loyalty doesn't come instantly. No one talks about how long it takes to earn a Rottweiler's full trust. How, for weeks, maybe months, the dog will watch you with curiosity, not devotion. It'll test you, not by being disobedient, but by observing how you react under pressure. Are you consistent? Do you lead with fairness? Do you correct out of anger or instruction? Every move you make teaches the Rottweiler something about who you are, and it stores that information. Then one day, without warning, it gives you its heart. Completely. And from that point forward, you'll never walk alone again. But here's the truth no one says out loud. Owning a Rottweiler feels heavy sometimes. Not because the dog is difficult, but because the bond is so intense. You start feeling its eyes when you move. You feel its energy change before someone knocks on the door. You begin to sense that your decisions don't just affect you. They affect a presence that is silently relying on your clarity. That's a responsibility few people prepare for. Because when your Rottweiler trusts you, it stops questioning. It just follows. That's not obedience. That's faith. And when you feel that kind of faith placed in you every single day, you start to change. You speak softer. You breathe deeper. You lead more intentionally. Because now someone's watching who won't challenge you, but will mirror you. No one talks about what it feels like when your Rottweiler notices someone you didn't. When it steps between you and a stranger before your brain even recognizes a problem. That moment, when the dog moves first, and you realize it was already 5 steps ahead of you. It's not about aggression, it's about awareness. Owning a Rottweiler feels like walking through the world with a silent alarm system that doesn't beep. It stares. And that stare? It's not just about protection, it's emotional. Rottweilers have a way of looking at you that cuts through everything. You can be having the worst day and that gaze, steady, grounding, wordless, pulls you back. It doesn't ask for anything. It just is. It's the presence that reminds you you're not alone, even when everything else feels like it's falling apart. But with that presence comes pressure. You start realizing that this dog, this soul beside you, is picking up on your chaos. And it doesn't bark when you're stressed. It becomes alert, unsettled. It watches you, waiting for you to reset. Owning a Rottweiler feels like emotional accountability. It holds a mirror up to your energy. It shows you who you are when you think no one's looking. That's why training isn't optional with this breed. Not because it won't listen, but because it deserves clarity. You owe it that structure. Because this isn't a dog you command, it's a dog you partner with. It doesn't bark for attention. It waits for intention. It doesn't need to be told what to do every minute of the day. It needs to trust that the world around it is stable, because you are. And that's the truth. People don't talk about. Owning a Rottweiler changes your nervous system. Your pacing, your tone, your posture. You begin to speak more clearly. You start anticipating problems instead of reacting to them. Because now, you have something beside you that does the same. You're no longer just living for yourself. You're living with someone whose eyes follow you, whose energy syncs with you, and who, if you needed it, would die for you. But it's not just the life-saving loyalty that matters. It's the daily loyalty. The way it waits by the door when you're gone. The way it notices when your hands shake. The way it nudges your leg and doesn't move until you look at it. This breed isn't dramatic. It's not needy. It doesn't perform. But when it chooses you, it does so with a devotion so quiet and complete, it'll ruin other dogs for you forever. And that's why no one talks about it. Because how do you explain what it feels like to be loved by something that doesn't speak but says everything? How do you describe the weight of that kind of presence? The responsibility, the comfort, the guilt when you're off balance and you see it waiting for you to come back? Owning a Rottweiler feels like living beside a guardian that you didn't earn through force, but through consistency. It feels like walking through life with something ancient and intelligent watching your every step, not to control you, but to protect what it has chosen to love. So when someone asks, "What's it like owning a Rottweiler?" don't just say they're loyal, or strong, or smart. Tell them the truth. Tell them it feels like being trusted with something sacred, something that watches without judgment, moves without noise, and loves without limits. And once you've felt that, you'll never be the same.